right, welcome to Sunday School at North Kitsap Baptist Church again this week. I'm so excited to see you. And I have a question for you. Have you ever had to wait a long time for something? What were you waiting for? Were you waiting for Christmas? Were you waiting for school to go back? Rachel's been waiting so long to get her braces off, and she finally did. Was it hard to be patient? Nah, I bet all of you are so patient. But what if you weren't? What if you got tired of waiting? And what if you didn't do what you were supposed to do? Well, this is what we're going to find out in our story today. So remember, we've been following the Israelites, and they've gotten out of Egypt, and God has led them across the Red Sea, and now they're out in the desert, and Moses has gone up on Mount Sinai, the mountain of God, and he got the laws, the 10 commandments that God wanted his people to obey. And Moses brought the laws to the people, and they read them together, and the people said, "Everything the Lord has said, we will do." And they were glad, and they made this promise. They promised God that they were going to obey his laws. And then God called Moses to come back up the mountain so God could actually write the laws on the tablets for them. And Moses told Aaron to wait with the people. And they had to wait for a little bit longer than they thought that they might have to. So let's look at Exodus 24, verse 15. And it says, Moses went up on the mountain, then the cloud covered it. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. The cloud covered the mountain for 6 days. On the 7th day, the Lord called out to Moses from inside the cloud. The people of Israel saw the glory of the Lord. It looked like a fire burning on top of the mountain. So that's what they saw while Moses was up on the mountain. And they kept waiting, and they kept waiting, and they kept waiting. And it was 40 days later. And they're thinking, Moses is never going to come back down. This was taking too long. Why was it taking so long? And they got tired of waiting. What do you do when you get tired of waiting? Do you stomp your feet? Do you go get something to eat? That's what I do. Do you pitch a fit and cry and scream? Well, let's see what the Israelites did. In Exodus 32, verse 1, it says, the people saw that Moses took a long time to come down from the mountain. So they gathered around Aaron, and they said to him, "Come, make us a god that will lead us. This fellow Moses brought us out of Egypt, but we don't know what has happened to him." So they're just abandoning Moses so quickly. They are ready for Aaron to make them some other kind of god. Did you know? Would you think of that? Would you just try to make yourself a god? It sounds kind of strange to us, but they came from a culture where they had idols that they worshiped, and that was one of the things they thought of, even though God had just given them the laws that said you will not have idols. And I think they must have forgotten that. And so they brought all of their gold jewelry to Aaron, and Aaron melted it down, even though he knew he should not be doing this. He did it anyway. He melted down their gold, and he made it into a golden calf. And then the people worshiped this golden calf. And they said, "This is our God. This brought us out of Egypt." And that seems kind of silly to us. But that's what they did. And then they had a huge wild party, throwing a party, having a celebration with lots of food and drink and worshiping their golden calf. Now I know this one isn't golden, but we'll pretend. And right then, of course it always happens right then, Moses starts coming down the mountain. And he's coming down and he's hearing this big party and he's thinking, what is going on? And he sees they have made an idol. They have made a golden calf and they're worshiping it. And Moses is very upset, and he knows that God is very upset with him. And he's praying. He's like, God, have mercy on them. God, forgive them. And so he hurries down, and he's talking to the people. And Moses was so angry, he broke the stone tablets that God had just given him with all of the laws on it. And then he took the golden calf, and he burned it up in the fire. Now, I'm not going to burn this one. He burned it up in the fire, so it was gone. And he begged God to forgive the people because they had done this wrong thing. They had made a promise to God, and they broke that promise. So it was a big mess that the people had made by not following what God wanted them to do. And so then God called Moses back up the mountain again and gave him some more stone tablets with the law on it again. And God said that he would forgive the people because he is a gracious and compassionate God, even though they had sinned, and it was a great sin. And God took it very seriously, but he promised that he would still go with them to the promised land. He would still lead them in this journey that they were taking and forgive them. So if you've ever done something wrong, and we all have, right? We've all done some very wrong things. And that's serious to God because the sin that we do can destroy us, and God doesn't want that to happen. So he wants us to come to him and ask for forgiveness. And just like it says in 1 John 1:9, it says, God is faithful and fair. If we confess our sins, he will forgive our sins, and he will forgive every wrong thing we have done and make us pure. So I hope you will confess your sin to God, just like the Israelites did, and he will forgive you like he did them. And we'll continue our story next time. Have a good day.